How's it going, everybody? Jake from Strat Geeks coming at you with the Axios video. Wanted to show you folks some cool stuff on how you can optimize Axios for your style of trading, for your account size, just some creative little tweaks that we can do. I think this would be really valuable for all the people that have signed up with us recently. We do have a few spots available still. It is the 11th of November, and you never know. Just give me a shout anytime when you watch this video. We may or may not have a sale going on. Just shoot me a Discord message. Let me show you how to do that real quick before we get started. So to get in touch with me, just go to stratgeeks.ai, scroll down a little bit, and then click this Discord link. That'll get you invited to our Discord server, and then find me. I'm Jake at ORS, and I believe this is the same exact picture that I have on my Discord handle. So just reach out to me that way. You can also email me, onetrader. Oh, I can't type. Onetrader. Still can't type. Jake at gmail.com. Make that a little bit bigger, throw that up over here, and then we're going to go into some pretty cool stuff that I don't normally share on videos, but lately I've been wanting to share more of the inner workings, if you will, of the strategy, so the parameters and whatnot. So we're looking at Axios. It is a beautiful new strategy that we got going. So let's right click on the chart, and we're going to go to strategies. And right now I have a template loaded. Let's get this little thing out of the way. Template loaded that is for the lowest possible amount of contracts you could trade with Axios. We're on the NASDAQ, micro NASDAQ, 3-minute chart with one micro, just one singular micro. So let's see what we get. And we're going to mess around with how many contracts, position 1, position 2, daily max losses, the max session loss amount. We'll even adjust some stop losses and stuff. I'm going to show you guys how this all works. So yeah, let's see what we get. Backtest mode, and so far the backtest has matched the live perfectly. I'm really impressed with the accuracy of this strategy. So let's go ahead and see what we get with just one little baby micro. And again, with one baby micro, we're not even going to be able to have a runner. So you can see this trade was entered here. Oh, 1 second. This trade was entered here as a short, but since we're only using one micro, we can't have a runner. We just exit one. If we're using a second position, we'd have our first target hit here, and then we'd have our runner all the way till this green arrow flip. So just to reiterate the strategy real quick so you don't have to go back and watch other videos. Right now I have the strategy set to target previous swings. So this swing comes from way back here somewhere. Let's just go ahead and see. I don't want to spend too much time on this because I did go over this in the previous video. But right now our target is, oh man, where is it? Way back here. Oh, that is super cool. Oh, farther back even. So here. Yeah, right about in there. Unless I missed it. I could have missed it. Wow, I gotta look back so far. Oh, geez. Oh man, I'm being it's actually easier than I was thinking. It was going to be harder to explain than it actually is. The target right here is simply this swing. So this swing low here is the target for this trade. Now this swing over here, that's probably way back on a different day or something. So to enter a short, we need to be below this red line. This is our trend indicator. Then we need to also be below our moving average, and we also need to put in this red arrow right here. This is our Axios proprietary, what would we call it? Swing flip indicator, if you will. That's what puts in the red arrows and then the green arrows. So 3 things: you need to be below the red trend line, you need to be below the moving average, and you need to finally put in a red arrow. That would get us into a short, but with just 1 micro, we can only have 1 target. We can't have the runner. If we had 2 micros, then we could have a trade open all the way until this green arrow here, where the trade flips to positive vibration, man. Okay, so let's see what we got with just 1 micro. Again, if you need more detail, like want to see multiple trades, go back and watch the last video I made. So with just 1 micro in 30 days, we optimized for 30 days. Also, watch the previous video. I'll link it at the end of this video. I explain why we optimized for 30 days. But anyway, so with just 1 micro, $2,400 in profit, which is great for many prop firm accounts. Pretty nice. And then the max drawdown, only $219. 91 trades, 62.64%. Largest winning trade, 286. Largest losing trade, 101. So you can see our very positive reward to risk balance here. I also like to look at the average time in market, only 7.5 minutes. That's a thing of beauty. Okay, so let's mess around with some numbers. So keep a look out here at the 2,400 and the 219. Profit factor 319. So let's go ahead and get that runner position added. So and then keep an eye on this trade over here. So we got this singular position targeting this previous swing low. We'll uncheck. And now we're going to put another contract on position 2 and re-enable. And now you can see we added that second position for our runner. So this trade would have been a 500 tick target and a 311 tick target. Now, you also get sort of a negative effect every once in a while on something like this, because we had this winner here, but now because we don't have a break even set, and we can set a break even, but we ended up losing about 123 on the second position because the runner didn't work out. You can see we put our green arrow in here, and then we had to exit. It looks like it's on this candle, but it's actually on the close of this candle. So that's the danger, if you will. Danger, or I guess you could call it I don't know, whatever you want to call it. The upside and the downside, if you will, of having a runner position. So let's see what we get when we have 1 straight up target and 1 runner with our strategy performance. So now we're using 2 micros. 4,500, so we almost doubled our profit, and we pretty much doubled our drawdown. Profit factor is a little lower, 2.67, also still amazing. We did increase our trades to 137, 66% win rate almost. Average time in market, a little bit longer because of the runner. So now we have 11 minutes, almost 12 minutes, because that runner is going to equal, some more time in the market here on average. Now you can set a break even, so you don't have to worry about these second positions going against you. That is a setting. I'll show you where that is actually, just for fun. I'll show you how it works. So if we scroll all the way down, we can see break even. So when you click break even, Axios will immediately determine the break even point, if you will. So as soon as the first target is hit, that's when the stop gets moved to break even, and we'll offset it by 0 ticks, just so it's right where the entry is. And now let's see if we get a loss on that trade or not. So now we do not. So if you look here, I should probably zoom in a little bit more. If you look here, this trade is that same winner. And then instead of getting a loss here at the close of this green candle, which would have been here, we get a break even. You can also make the offset. You can make the offset so it's a small win. All sorts of different ways that you can do that. We also have an auto trail feature as well. But I try to stay away from using the auto break-evens and the auto trails in the backtest because they have a tendency to skew the backtest up a little bit and make it not as accurate. So for me, it's all about the backtest being as accurate as possible to the live. So something I forgot to mention. So we added another contract. So because we added another contract, now we're trading with 2 contracts, we might want to increase our max session loss from just 150 to 250. So let's see what we get now. Now we'll right click, performance, and it's actually not quite as well. You lost a couple $100 in the profit. It doesn't really affect it much, actually. Interesting. Okay, so let's try some other things. Let's try the template that I'm sending out to a lot of our new subscribers is set up similar to this. So 2 contracts for the first position. So, and then 1 contract for the runner. Let's see what that looks like. And we'll leave that max session loss at 250. And now, with adding a 3rd contract, basically, our profit factor goes back up to over 3. We have $6,800 profit, max drawdown, super chill at $645. Nice sample size, 131. 55.73% win rate, but you have to look at the average winner versus the average loser. 5, 10, 15. The average winner is almost 3x what the average loser is. So that win rate's a little deceiving. I like to think of that win rate more like it probably will feel more like a 70-something% win rate when it really comes down to it. Average time in market, about 9 minutes. Then you can look at the consecutive winners and losers. The largest winning trade, 860. Largest losing trade. So I really like to focus on the largest losing trade. So only $300 total. Let's mess with a couple more things. Let's bump up the contracts a little bit more still. So let's try 2 and 2. So 2 contracts for the first target, the swing target, and 2 for the runner. And we're probably going to want to increase this to 400 because we're going to need a little bit more wiggle room for our max session loss since we're trading with more contracts. So let's enable there. Now we'll go to strategy performance. Drag in. I got multiple screens, so I gotta just drag this in all the time. So now we're trading with 4 total contracts. $8,500 profit, max drawdown 1,000, still almost a 3 profit factor, 133 trades, average winning trade 177, average loser $73. That's really nice. 714. Yeah, it's not quite as good as before, so still really nice. For just 30 days, man, that's really, really nice. But let's do something else. Let's try putting 3 here and just 1 here. So 3 for the first target. So still using 4 contracts, but let's go 3 for the first target and just 1 for the runner. Still leaving that max session loss at 400. We should maybe even increase that a little bit. Oh, we still have the break even set. I need to get rid of the break even. I try not to use the break even. Let's go back. Let's deselect break even so we have more accuracy with our back test. And the trading times, by the way, are from 9:30 a.m. to 1 o'clock in the afternoon Eastern Standard Time. So let's actually look at this 3 and 1. What were we doing before? We were doing 2 and 2. Let's do the 2 and 2 again, but without the break even. So we'll take this loss, but let's see if it helps us in the long run to not have a break even. It does. Look at that. I think we were only at 8,400 before, but without a break even, now we're at 9,200, still with pretty much the same drawdown. It was about 1,000. This might be $10 higher. Look at our win rate too is improved, 64%. Average winning trade, 159. So, see, our win percentage goes up, but now our average winner, and it's still bigger, it's still positive RVR, but it's not quite as big compared to the average loser. Still about 11 minutes in the market. Let's try another configuration. Let's try 3 and 1, no break even. We'll keep it at 400. Max loss for the day. And we'll drag it in. Oh, look at this. And now we have almost $10,000 in 30 days, but still that same max drawdown. We actually decreased it by 10, 15 bucks. 2.89 profit factor, that's amazing. Almost a 64% win rate. And our average winner is 160 with our average loser only being 100. So that's freaking excellent right there. Okay, so let's leave it like this for a second. So this is pretty easy to remember. We're almost at 10 grand. Our max drawdown's 1,000. Now let's play around with increasing our allowable max loss for the day. Let's just get rid of it altogether for a second and see what happens. So strategy is allowed to lose as much money as it wants. No cap on the loss for the day. It's the only thing we changed. See, this is where it gets a little counterintuitive. I think we're actually a little bit higher, pretty much the same profit, but our drawdown is actually $100 less. Interesting. 150 trades. Interesting. This is the kind of stuff that I want all of our subscribers to look into themselves. Like, what feels better for you? We don't all have to trade with the same settings. What I give everybody is a really good place to start, and it's totally fine. But to be able to customize these parameters to the size of your account is crucial. Some people are going to have 150K accounts. Some people are going to have 50K accounts. Some people are going to trade with cash accounts. Some people are going to trade with their grandma's money. Who knows? I don't know. But this is how I optimize and adjust contracts based on the size of accounts. So let's call that about 10,000. So 9,900 and 859. Let's go back in. And let's just to have some comfort. It would be nice if we could just keep it at, give ourselves some kind of max session loss. Just to keep comfortable. I don't know. Psychologically, it's pretty nice. Let's see if 500 gets us that same 9,800 and 859 drawdown. It does. Okay, perfect. So this is what I like to see. Oh, another thing that's beautiful is how even the short trades are versus the long trades. They're almost dead even. As far as strategies go, that's pretty balanced between the longs and the shorts. You never really want to see a strategy taking way more profits from the short trades than the long trades or vice versa, because you just want to see balance here. And the amount of trades taken is pretty darn balanced as well. The win percentage is pretty balanced. I love 150 trade sample size. It's a thing of beauty. Still a beautiful profit factor. Our drawdowns, not even $900, and we're looking at $10,000. Largest winner 1,100, that's reasonable, and largest loser 400. We still have a very nice positive expectancy here, 158 to 102, or RVR rather, I should say, to be exact. So here's what we'll do. So I like these settings, so I'll right click, I'll go to strategies, I'll disable the strategy for a moment, and I'll click template, save, and then I'll say Axios video. You can see I do a lot of work with this optimizing stuff. 11, 11, 25. So if anybody signs up and they want these exact settings, just let me know. I can send you these exact settings. But let's keep playing around with it. So we're allowed, okay, let's see what happens if we allow an unlimited amount of wins. So right now we had this net wins box checked. So after 3 wins, the strategy will stop trading automatically. But let's uncheck that and see if that helps our results at all. So now we have unlimited amounts of wins available. So the strategy will take more trades. But is it worth it? Is it worth it? Let's see. Not really. Now we're down to 8,600. Drawdown's a little higher. Profit factor is not as good. So I would say, yeah, let's keep those max wins at 3. Actually, you know what? Let's try 4. Let's try net wins, and let's do 4. So just increase it from 3 to 4, and okay. I was just going to say, I hope this isn't boring, but, you know, this kind of stuff is not boring to me. I get excited on the optimizing. 9,200, 859. So yeah, I think 3 is the way to go. Just something about it. So the hotkey, I use Control S, and I could just get right back into the strategy. So let's do 3. Now you can have a max session profit as well. You can mess around with that. We can say we don't want to trade anything over. Let's just do 500 and 500. And keep in mind with NinjaTrader, some people don't know this. When you have a strategy with a max session loss or profit, the trade that is currently ongoing needs to close before NinjaTrader / the strategy can calculate the actual session loss. So you're not going to actually have an exact 500. It's not going to just exit you out of the trade automatically when the loss for the day becomes 500 or the profit becomes 500 for the day. It's going to exit the trade. When the trade exits, then it's going to calculate, then the strategy will stop trading. It won't take any more trades after that. So you could get a $522 loss, you could get a $670 win, etc., etc. So let's see what happens if we put a max session profit of 500 on there. Because some firms they have a consistency rule, and you don't want to, make more than a certain amount, or you could get denied. So we drop down a little bit, but here's what else we can look at. We can look at something like this. So specifically for, where I look at this is specifically for consistency rules. So for the day, for this size account, this would probably be like a 150K account. So in 1 month to make it 10,000. So this would all be within the consistency rules. Absolutely. You can see here, so there was one day that was minus 600, but for the most part, look at how beautiful the beautiful green days compared to the red days. So if we just go back in, and let's increase this to 1,000, and then we're going to move on to some other settings. See what this does. And now we're back up to that 9,500 and 859. And let's see what our biggest days are now. Still within, that's pretty sure that's going to be within the realm of okay when it comes to 150K accounts. But with a 50K account, I'm just going to go into it. So with the 50K account, let's reduce these contracts back here again. With the 50K account, you might want to do something like the 1-and-1, or let's see what even like just a straight 2 looks like. And then let's limit the wins to 450 and the losses to 250. So we don't want to see too many days over about $700 win days for a 50K account with a 30% consistency rule. I'm not going to mention any specific firms, but probably know which ones I'm talking about. So this is looking really, really good, but let's see in reality what this would be, because we'd have to stop trading after, oh, see, this is great. There's only, so if we're going to stop trading after $750 worth of profit, it's only this one day and a little bit of this one day. So you'd have to remove from that 7,000, you'd have to remove what, like about 200 here and about 100 here. So your summary is still like 6,700 total profit in 30 days with a $650 drawdown. With a 50K account, that is ridiculously amazing. So let's go back in. I want to show you a couple of other things. I'll show you some stuff with the stop losses. So let's stick with that for right now. So the 50K account, 2-and-1. This stuff here, Axios smoothing period, this is what creates the red and green arrows. You can also choose your moving average type and everything. But what really tends to make a big difference is, here's the time of day. So we can, this actually starts trading, this template starts trading at 9:45 a.m. Just for fun, let's see what happens if we start trading at 9:30, right at the open. So we're at 7,650 drawdown, I believe it was. No break even. So you can see right here, session P&L is reached right here. Nice, it's what you want to see. Session P&L, I believe that says, I can't actually read it because I'm on a big blurry monitor right now. Need to increase that resolution. That's performance here. So now we are looking at starting at 9:30. It doesn't help. Now we're at 5,800. So better to start at 9:45. Let's look at the times actually. We'll do a couple things with time. So let's go back to 9:45 start time. And what if we wanted to trade till 3 o'clock? We'll just put a 3 in there. Go all the way back up. Enable. Okay. And let's look at the results now. Trading from 9:45 till 3 in the afternoon. Ooh, that actually helps a little bit. I didn't expect that. 7,500, profit factor 3, 66.67 drawdown. That's really nice. Let's look at what the days look like. So you would have to cut $200 off of this day. You'd have to cut about $150 off of this day, but all the other days are fine, well within reason for the consistency rules. So that's actually really nice. But here's the thing. Here's why I would rather not trade till 3 o'clock in the morning. I'd rather optimize till 1. Why? Because the East Coast just time changed. I live in Bali, and 1 o'clock East Coast time is actually 2 o'clock in the morning for me. Also, FOMC events tend to occur at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So if you're trading till 3, there's a high likelihood that at least once or twice a month, you're going to be in or close to or possibly in a trade during an FOMC. So I would rather have that be 1 o'clock. We can make it, let's try 1:55. Actually, I haven't tried this. Let's try 1:55, and then if you look down here at exit time is when the last trade end 2, this trade will be, the last trade of the day will be taken at 1:55 p.m. No later. Actually, it's a 3-minute chart, so we should make it 1:56. And the last trade of the day, if still working, will be automatically closed at 1:59, which is intentional. I want to be out of the market before any FOMC possibilities. Now, if it's not an FOMC day, maybe you can extend it if you want, but just for ease of backtesting, 1:59 makes sense for me. If you wanted to, you can use a CSV file, and you could exclude from the backtest any days that you want. Sign up, and probably be easier if I just get on Zoom with you and show you how to use that exclusion thing. But I'm not using any excluded dates on this video or just in general right now, just because it's easier. So now we're going from 9:45, last trade 1:56, exit last trade at 1:59. And we're right around 7,000 with a $650 drawdown, I believe. 650. So yeah, it doesn't help. Good, because what I would really rather not do is stay up any later than I absolutely need to. Sweet. Well, this is probably why I've always been lately optimizing till 1 o'clock in the morning. Oops. 1 o'clock. Well, actually, because the time changed, now it's 2 o'clock in the morning for me. So let me show you something with the plots, stops, and targets. So right now on the NASDAQ MNQ 3-minute, from years and years and years and years and years and years of looking at the NASDAQ, I know that a 300-tick stop loss with a strategy like this is very rarely going to get hit, especially before our Axios green arrow turns into a red arrow. We're just going to exit the trade 99 times out of 100 before that stop loss even gets hit. But say we wanted a tighter stop loss. So you wanted 200, a 200-tick stop. And now, remember this trade here? This trade was a winner. Now it gets stopped out here at 200 ticks. Or 190. Well, I'm just not measuring it exactly. But if we increase that, well, let's see what the performance is with a 200 tick stop loss. It's still pretty good. Still really good. $6,100 profit or $6,200 profit, $644 drawdown. The drawdown stayed the same, but the profits decreased. So just have a wider stop. Give the NASDAQ a little bit more room to breathe. So we can do that. And you can even have a 400 tick stop loss in there, and most of the time, by the time the trade turns from a green zone, green arrow, and then the Axios signal flips to red, we're going to be out of that trade before the stop is hit again. So let's go back to 300. And as far as the targets, yeah, so the target type is swing. I have it set to swing. Let's use ATR as a target. And ATR period 10 is pretty good on a 3 minute. That's a 30 minutes worth of averaging the range. And the ATR multiplier, let's try 2 times the ATR for targets, but the ticks will remain static. At some point we might update to include ATR for stops, but right now it seems like everything's pretty darn good. I don't want to mess with it. It's one of the best strategies we've ever developed. So what do? We just switched the targets to ATR type targets, not swing. And see what that does. See, it really likes the swing. Now we're only at 2,500, which is actually still good. 1.64 is actually still good. $2,500 with a $900 drawdown. But there's something about like psychologically having my targets be swing points seems magnetic. Like the price wants to go to those swing points. It really does. But yeah, this is all just stuff you guys can mess around with. Target type, we can also make it US dollars. We can make it actual ticks. We can say, well, what if we want to scalp? What if we wanted to do? Well, you probably want to change to a 1 minute chart if you want to do scalping. But you could say, what about a 100 tick stop loss and a 100 tick target? And enable and OK. Now I'm pretty sure this isn't going to be great, especially on a 3 minute chart. Geez, it still works though. Crazy. 126 trades, $2,000, $900 drawdown, still almost a 1.5 profit factor. It's actually really, really nice. But like, let's go back to our swing targets. Target type, swing. And swing strength is a 5, so you can tell Axios how big of a swing do you want it to target. You can also use break evens here, which I already talked about. And you can also use a trailing stop, trail it by. Then there's a flip feature and a candle open exit. We can go over this stuff in a later video. I think that's good. We're about 30 minutes in, so that's pretty good stuff there. Let's see one more time what this template was. 450, 250. Can we get away with 200? Let's see if we can get away with 200. So it's just a little window for you folks into kind of how I optimize. It's definitely an art. Oh, see, I messed something up. 4,900, 680. What did I not put back? Oh, I didn't put the stops back the way that they were. Stops need to be back to that 300 ticks. Again, rare that will they get hit, but even if they do, it's not the end of the world. So initial stop loss 300. Especially when you're only using 3 contracts. I mean, it's fine. You're looking at $10,000, $9,000 profit. Not even a $700 drawdown. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, so this would be something that you could have optimized for a 50K eval or a 50K PA. And again, like I haven't went into this. if the firm that you're using doesn't allow automation, there's a couple different ways we can handle that. One, just set Axios up like this. 1 second. You can just set Axios up like this as a signal generator and just take the trades manually if you want to be super safe. So have Axios over here on your left, be watching our Axios, know how the strategy works. You got to be under the red line, you got to be under the EMA, and you have to have these lines crossed to make a red arrow. Those are your 3 things for a short, and then just copy the trade yourself manually over here on another chart. Set your ATM up so you have a 300 tick stop loss, and then wherever the target gets placed over here, just place the target over here on your actual account, and then use a trade copier on this chart to trade copy to all your other accounts. Or if you wanted to, since most firms do still say semi-automation's okay, automation's okay as long as you're monitoring it. Well, like how can you prove that you're monitoring it? You could literally, after every trade, so say this trade completes, this first trade, I could disable the strategy. I'm going to do it over here on my other, you can do it over here on something like this. After this trade completes, disable, and then re-enable. And then if your firm asks you for your logs, you can simply say, well, obviously I was in front of the computer. How else did the strategy get disabled and re-enabled again? I do that on purpose just to show you that I am there. I know how the trading system works. I move my stops and my targets manually. Sometimes I'll move manually to break even. I'm constantly watching the market. I enable and disable after every trade, show them the logs, and then you could also be trading Axios on a SIM account and then using a copier on SIM to copy to all your actual accounts. So there's a few different ways we can work around this, and that's not even breaking rules. That's just trading it within. That's actually kind of trading it within the rules. I mean, a lot of these firms want is to know that you're there. And you can easily prove that by just enabling and disabling the strategy after every trade. Some accounts, some firms will allow full automation. I know there's a few out there. There's workarounds. I'll just say there's workarounds, right? So let's go ahead and save this template. I actually like this template a lot. In case you send me an email or send me a Discord, you want to sign up. We got an awesome sale going on right now. We got a few spots left. Shoot me a DM on Discord, and I'll shoot you the link and tell you what the sale's all about and everything. I don't want to be too salesy and like mention prices and everything on these YouTube videos. I don't think I ever really do that. Anyway, load. Sorry, not load. Let's get rid of backtest. Template. Save. And where was it? Axios video. 3 contracts. 3 contracts. Save. Yeah. Shoot me a DM on Discord. Just go to stratgeeks.ai, scroll down just a little bit. Discord link, and shoot me a DM. I'll send you the discount code. And it'll also come with ORS Fusion. I've made a billion videos on ORS. That's our other proprietary trading algorithm. But yeah, folks, I think that's a lot. Just went through a lot. 38-minute video. I don't usually make videos like this, but I think it'd be cool for people to see the inner workings of how I optimize and how anyone can optimize for their particular account size. And you can even get creative, try playing around with these numbers, try different moving averages. Look at all the different moving averages we can use. But this is what I'm using right now. A template very similar to this, depending on my account size. Anyway, Jake from Strat Geeks signing out. Thanks, everybody.